morning and welcome to Multiply Mornings. My name is Dan and today we're talking about all the crazy stories from around the web, including that YouTube's eyes are watching you. That's right, YouTube is being accused of censorship. Now, Google has long since been, and actually somewhat admitted to censorship. This is in the sense of guns are blocked from their site and different other things that seem to be not family friendly. So there's definitely already an understanding that there's some censorship going on. But now the Christian film company PureFlix is suing YouTube for lost ad time and exposure to the movie because they blocked the trailer for I'm Not Ashamed for 3 months. They wouldn't let back on there, so they lost all that time, and it was because who knows why. This is crazy. Now you might be saying, Daniel, what does this even mean? So what this means is that Christians, entities like this, I talk about Christian things, I put titles up about Christian things. Sometimes you want to search and get a Christian perspective. Those things are being suppressed in YouTube's algorithm or some other manner or fact. What does this mean? Well, it means that it's a scary time for especially content creators like myself who are struggling to find an audience. It makes you wonder, am I not finding an audience because of an algorithm mess up? Because YouTube's algorithm is suppressing what I'm doing? Or what is going on? It's kind of an interesting dynamic. I don't know. It's definitely something to be talked about. What do you think about this? I mean, YouTube's censoring you? There's a poll. One of these corners right here, there should be a little poll. Take a poll, let me know what you think about it, and then comment fully down below. Moving on, we are talking about Joakim Noah. Now, if you don't know who Joakim Noah, I don't blame you. Joakim Noah is he was on the Florida Gators. They're all their championship teams they had back in the NCAA. Then he moved on to the Chicago Bulls, where he was a 6'11" power forward. Actually, I think he played the center from the University of Florida. And then he got traded, or I think got picked up on free agency by the New York Knicks. Well, the Knicks went to West Point to have a dinner with some of the West Point people there. And while they were there, he refused to go. Why? Because of an anti-war stance. Because I can't go support these boys, eat dinner with them because they want to go to war. And so this is the thing. He says he has respect for what they do, or respect for who they are, blah, blah, blah. But here's the reality, guys. Those boys, they're defending our country. You think if we let our country down, we let our guard down, that Russia's going to be like, take down the satellite, guys. They're getting rid of their armor. Come on, get rid of the army. You, drop that gun. We're going to burn it. We're going to burn it. I don't want to hear it, Joe. No, they're not. They're going to just... welcome the floodgates. So it's stupidity and it's outright. I don't understand this mentality of like Starbucks. Several years ago during the Iraq War, they had sent a request from the soldiers to get coffee brought up because they love Starbucks coffee and they all drink coffee, and they were refused because they didn't support the war. It's not the soldiers' fault for defending war. You may disagree with it, but that soldier's there because he's been ordered to go there, not because of that. So to take an anti-war stand on a soldier is ridiculous. To take that for a man who's standing for your country, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this? Is Joakim Noah as big of a moron as I think so? Definitely needs a haircut. No doubt about that. All right, and on to a funny story of the day. This is literally actually kind of gripping my hometown. No joke. Kirksville, Missouri. Small podunk town of 17,000 people, one university. It's kind of prestigious, whatever. But there it is, all its glorified gloriness. And Kirksville is under the scare of the clowns right now. And you think I'm joking, but I am dead serious. Links in the description down below. But clowns are invading Kirksville. There's been several sightings in Kirksville, Moberly, which is our arch nemesis. We don't like Moberly. If you're from Moberly, I still want you to subscribe. But I don't know. Go ahead and comment. It's okay if you comment too. I just have to really take a second. But anyway, I digress. Back to it. So these clowns, there was like a tweet out that we're looking to like either kill or kidnap kids. I'll link it down below also. So there's this huge scare. Said Kirksville police officers stationed around the school. Humongous scare from the clowns. Now why I think this is funny, guys, is because it's not a laughing matter to make any sort of a threat like this in any way. But the thing that's kind of funny about it is because this is something that happened. I believe it was up in like Michigan or something where this clown was first sighted. And it's obviously just people being copycats, and some person made a fake Twitter account and posted this. More than likely. Now if it's not, the police taking the precautions that they are, because in this world that we live in, it is insane. But it is funny that we live in a world also to where this can be taking place, where we are scared of clowns. Now I have known people who have a fear of clowns. This one may be a little bit more necessary. But comment down below and let me know what you think. Do you think it's crazy? Do you think these precautions are too much? Do you think anything? Definitely check out the article in the description down below. I would love to hear your beautiful thoughts. All right. There we go. Now on to our final story of the day, guys. Woo, I drank that really fast. And on to our final story of the day. Now this one's going to be definitely the hot topic issue, but here's the thing. This one's from a Johns Hopkins professor who's not just a professor or somebody who's learned these. He's a gentleman who pioneered the transgender surgery itself. He was one of the pioneers of it, studied and done surgeries and everything to people for more than 30 years. So this gentleman has come out and began to realize the effects of this surgery and has actually labeled it and stopped doing the surgeries itself because he labels it a mental disorder, a mental disease. He puts on the same ledge and term as anorexia and other organs of that. He says basically performing the surgery is like taking an anorexic patient, basically giving them liposuction. You're not helping the issue at all. In fact, you're more further hindering what they need. He says that people who undergo this surgery, actually a large number of them end up being very much mentally unstable and committing suicide shortly after. It goes into more detail in the article down below. I challenge you to look at it. But what I think, guys, the reason I want to talk about this in our final story of the day is because here's the thing. There is like that water I drank. I guzzled it and it was like I was taking as fast as I could. That's what this movement is trying to do. It's trying to take an incredibly small minority and put them at the utmost authority. It's taking now to where children as young as 3 to 4 years old are being told that they can choose who they want to be, their genders. We are naturally something. We are naturally man and we are naturally woman. And he is talking about this in the light of this that's past the progressive humanistic movement of today. It's something greater, something bigger than what we understand and what we do. And so this movement says one thing and this is something else. And he's saying it from a factual place of understanding and knowledge. Humanism is saying it from a point of this is what I want and this is how I feel. Sometimes I want to go to Andy's, which is this ice cream parlor down the street, and I want to just get everything. Like they have this one that they do just in July, is where they take a whole piece of key lime pie and put it in there. I want to buy like 5 gallons of that and just sit there and eat all of it at one sitting. I would die of sugar coma and pain and probably just so many bad things because that's not wise. Sometimes we want to do things that aren't the best. And so I think this movement's going on now of just like not knowledge, but lack of knowledge, truthfully, is what's overtaking us. And we want to just listen to what we want and not necessarily what's true. But I want to know your thoughts down below on this. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you're contemplating, where you're at. I do really truthfully want to know. And so go down there. And so we're going to move on to folks, but make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. Comment, check all articles on the description down below so you get a better idea of what I'm talking about here. And we're going to move on to focus. But tell me what you think, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. So anyways, moving on now. So today I am in Nehemiah. Finished it in my quiet times, but I wanted to come back and make sure I hit on this point here because we didn't get a chance to last week. And so this is Nehemiah as he is building the wall, and the work was stopped by all the men around him. And they stopped the building of the wall, and they stopped what God was doing there because they were scared of what Israel was going to rise up and become again. And so as Nehemiah is ministering here, they realized they can't stop. They have to commence. And the king was behind them, so they went in and they started to build this wall. But every man, half of them were put into battle stances. They had bows and spears and shields and chainmail and everything there, and their swords on their side wherever they went. And Nehemiah and his men were on guard. They said as they worked, they had their right hand on their sword at all moments ready to strike because they didn't know when it was going to come. Nehemiah and his men knew the importance of building that wall. Israel was a holy place. It is a holy place. It's where God's people dwelled. And God's people had let their walls down. They'd been broken and integrated and put in with all these other systems and these other ideals, and they lost what they were supposed to be. In the same sense, guys, that's who we are today. You see, these movements of idealism and humanism are rushing in and telling each of you guys who you need to be and what you need to do and what you can believe and what you cannot believe. And so we see this thing coming in and we realize, well, how do I defend this? It's somebody's life. I don't know what to do. And we have all these questions. But the reason is because the church has let its walls down. If I defend myself, if I understand who I am, if I trust God, then I know exactly what I'm supposed to say. Now, that doesn't mean every moment I know exactly what I'm going to say in the sense of like I have every answer for every question. No. But you know what? Neither do they. The thing is, guys, we have to understand that God is in control. God has a plan. These men and these women stood up and they built that wall back to where it needed to be because they realized the importance of that city of God, that temple. But now we are the temple. And like what we're doing is we have the temple, we become a Christian or whatever, we say, hey, I love Jesus, and then we let all the world come rushing in and giving us all these other reasons. God needs to be number one in your life definitively 100%. And we need to make sure that the wall is that fortress of understanding is built around us. But not only that, guys, there's something else here. The last verse says, so neither I nor my brothers, nor my servants, nor my men of the guard who followed me, none none of us took off our clothes. Each of us kept his weapon at his right hand. They were always on guard with their weapon, their sword, right? The thing is, guys, God gives us one offensive weapon. That's the Bible. We need to be on guard with it, on point. When it talks about our sword and the armor of God, it's talking about spoken word, as in you know it in your heart. God says, hide his word in your heart. But that is where we're supposed to put it, guys, and that takes time of getting to know God and building a relationship with him. That's where I'll leave you today, guys. I hope your Monday's great. I hope it's fantastic. In fact, God's doing great things. Make sure if you enjoy what we do here, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us on all the social medias, links in the description down below. God bless, and I will see you tomorrow.